Hello everyone and welcome back to the Horrido Campaign for the Wolf 190 Anton in DCS World, and welcome to Mission 3, where today we are taking off early in the morning for a pretty straightforward briefing. We are to meet up with a flight of JU-88 and we're to escort them over the channel for a raid on Dover, rather to give them a top cover, or if nothing attacks them before they get to the target, we then divert off to the nearby Hawkinge airfield and strafe ground targets. So let's jump in and see how all of that went. So the first thing that happened is the AI went a little bit wonky. It seems taxing problems are not just limited to the Syria campaign maps, but also here on the channel map. For some reason, one of the flights in my squadron decided to take off not aligned with the runway, and so the first one hit a tree and exploded, the second one followed him, hit a tree and exploded, third one ploughed into the back of them and exploded. So yeah, I lost 4 planes in taking off. Not really sure what caused that, but it was absolutely reproducible. I did reset and try again, so just definitely something up there. But still, we did take off with the rest of the squadron, so still have plenty of planes backing me up, so headed off to do our job. Now, once the bombers are on their final approach, we do get permission to leave the formation and head towards the airfield that we're going to attack. I do give myself some distance from the bombers since they are attracting a huge amount of AAA. Do have to stay a little bit evasive myself since a couple of the ships do turn around and start looking at me, but do manage to make it through and get some nice little views as the bombers are dropping their ordnance, and do manage to get a number of hits before we head off inland. So just while I am trying to work out where the airfield is, struggling a little bit, Do get alerted that Spitfires are taking off. Get orders to drop our fuel tanks, and here I spot the airfield. Spot a few little dots taking off. Quickly tell everyone to start engaging. Do drop my fuel tank at this point. Just a little off screen, but drop it there. And you can see 4 Spitfires are up in the air, 2 are going left, 2 are going right, and we do have more Spitfires on the ground. So throwing myself into this lot, immediately take a hit from AAA that I really wasn't defending against. Pull my nose up to try and get guns on this one. I do actually clip him. Nothing particularly good though, but I do get a tiny little hit, so that's something at least. Managed to lead him, even if not damage him badly. Fortunately, what you can see is huge amount of AAA going off. And we do get those big cannon rounds coming in from the Spitfires being fired off. The big yellow rounds are the Hispano rounds on the Spitfires, which do really hurt if they make impact. Having a little bit of trouble actually spotting here. Do have better canopy reflections now. Did install a nice mod to clear things up a little bit, but you still see there is a lot of baked in reflection there. Makes it very difficult to see anything under me. I'm searching around looking for the shape of anything that looks Spitfire-y. See various planes going down, all rather a chaotic situation. At this point I decide, you know what, I know which ones are definitely hostile, these ones taxiing on the ground. And they're going to be a much easier target, and if I can stop them taking off, then that is going to be less for me to have to worry about. Do unfortunately take a hit as I'm going in there. Do put in a couple of rounds, you can see that there is something smoking there. I think I hit his radiator. And so that is him taken out of the fight. He's just going to remain there. And that is very, very useful, just slowly chipping these guys away. And very nicely, because he was the flight lead and he stopped, he is holding up his wingman on the taxi rank. So I can dive back in on that wingman. Try and line it up, put a few rounds centre of mass, get a pilot snipe there. Poor pilot did not survive that one. And then see this other pair, which I go and spray across, doing a fair amount of damage there. And so that will at least be less enemy reinforcements. Do take another ground hit. Luckily most of this ground fire is pretty light, and this is an Anton. The Anton can take a bit of punishment. Now as I'm trying to rejoin the fight, do look out, spot a couple of things that are definitely Spitfires. So trying to head in on those. Unfortunately, something hits me there. I think by the angle that was ground AAA fire. Unfortunately it gets fire, so I have to bail. And that would be this particular pilot going down and being captured by the British. No way he's going to get back after that. But I didn't feel like leaving it there. I did leave that in the video because I thought that was quite a fun little session. Instead what I did is I reset, got back to there and gave it another go, seeing if I can actually manage to do this one and survive. So here we are in for round 2. Start of it exactly the same. This is just when the Spitfires take off. You can see them moving across the airfield there, mostly by their nav lights. Didn't quite get to them fast enough in order to take them out before they get off the ground. But nicely, I'm in a little bit of a better position here. After giving orders for my flight to attack, I decided, you know what, there are a load of things on the ground. This worked out really nice last time, so I'm just going to go straight for ground targets here. Let my flight deal with the awkward ones that are in the air. Meanwhile, I am just going to whip around, fire some rounds at things on the ground. Second pass there wasn't very good, very, very unsteady. Again, get a couple of hits. That's quite a lot in the air here. See this Spitfire rolling out in front of me and sort of decide, okay, this is actually a pretty good opportunity. Unfortunately, the Spitfire there, you can just see much better turn rate than the Anton. So, struggling to catch up and decide, you know what, I'm going to leave that guy, go back in with plan A. There are some planes here that are lining up for takeoff, so they'll be in the air soon. Really don't want them to be in the air. Try and stay a little bit evasive as I'm getting close. Couple of rounds in those two. One was a pilot snipe, so one isn't going to take off, another one definitely isn't going to take off. You can see my wing has taken a little bit of a battering from all of this incoming fire. A little bit more there. The Anton can take a lot, but as we saw in the last one, it does just take one lucky hit, one fire, and that is your Anton down. As I'm putting distance for another pass, I do see this Spitfire here bullying one of my wingmen, so decide that he really needs to go down. Unfortunately, I'm not really paying attention, and right behind me, a plane comes along. Now, I do manage to get a lot of rounds in this Spitfire here. Pushing through, do a huge amount of damage. He is definitely out of the fight, probably RTBs. Unfortunately, I am in a very, very bad way at this point. I am very hurt, and so I am trying to make it out, and unfortunately you can see here, Spitfire right on my tail. Now, I do briefly debate trying to get back into the fight, but think, no, I need to get out of here. I barely survived that. I think my pilot's taken a round to his head at this point, and so I just need to try and get away. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to keep an eye on this guy, especially when he keeps putting rounds into me like that. So got quite hurt there. But still in the air. Do start to wing stall there, not too happy about that, just trying to stay evasive, trying to increase the distance between me and this Spit. Fortunately, he is constantly getting hits. Thankfully, most of the hits have been with his Brownings. Have given orders for my flight and team to rejoin at this point, really in order to hopefully get some of these guys to actually come in and clear my tail. And very nicely we see one does actually arrive there. Gets a bunch of hits on the Spitfire. Spitfire starts leaking. Unfortunately, that's not enough to convince the Spitfire to go away. Spitfire stays on me, stays putting rounds in me. Very, very rude if you ask me. I can see the shore of France up ahead. Give some more orders just on the off chance that they'll actually obey. See the Spitfire there running in underneath me. Roll over to keep an eye on him. Kind of caught between wanting to keep an eye on him and wanting to make my best route of escape here. Unfortunately, he is just really, really keeping up. I'm absolutely redwalling the engine right now. I've got everything on full. I can't remember at this stage if I've reclosed the flaps or not. Get the feeling I reopened them just one point during the fight, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're all the way closed now. Well, no, they're all the way open now. Now's the point where I realise they're all the way open. Close them for any little bit of speed that I possibly can get. And there's a checking behind me. This guy seems to be falling back. I don't really relax at this point. I stay very, very tense, heading in low, But from here it is just a matter of flying back. I don't get any further engagement, and do just visually navigate all the way down to find our home airfield. Get nicely there, things like rivers and things that you can follow to do most of the navigation for you. And I did a couple of times call in the azimuth from the airfield to get a little help with the bearing. See, the Spitfire is behind me, but he's now dropping further and further back, and eventually he does just disappear off. And I do make it back to the airfield, all nice and in one piece. Now, unfortunately, making it back to the runway isn't the same as making it down safely. And so, as you'll see in the background, even though I'm trying my best to come in, there has been a lot of damage, particularly to the gear. And so, as I come down, the gear collapses. But thankfully, pilot survives. So on that one, I only got the one kill. I got multiple other damaged vehicles, likely combat kills there. They're put out of action for the day, but they will be repaired and back again in the future. But yeah, really tough mission, really interesting, really fun. Definitely enjoyed it. Really good challenge, and hope you all enjoyed it at home. Otherwise, I hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.